just tuned in to NNUTS Podcast. Yeah, that's right, NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun. So make sure you tune in, because this is where it's at. You don't want to miss it. You hear me? NNUTS.
Giving you the real.
What's up? This is your boy Brian, and I'm back like I never left. And this is NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun. And I am here with the lovely lady, Danielle. Danielle, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thank you.
All right. Well, Danielle, on my podcast, I try to, I have some amazing friends, and I'm trying to showcase what my amazing friends are up to and what they're doing, and relate it back to like my granny used to say, it's nothing new. Everything is a remix of something that's already been done before. So we kind of got that old school, new school vibe.
Okay.
And with that being said, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, as you said, my name is Danielle, and currently working for corporate America, working for the man. That's who pays me. But ultimately the goal, I would like to do public speaking. I think I have a passion for that. Good communicator. So, yeah.
Good communicator. All right. So, see, I'm going to pick up on that, right? So, good communicator means that you are good at listening or hearing, or I'm going to even say talking back to. Like, when you say good communicator, like what does that entail? Give me the pieces.
Well, it entails all of it, actually. Being able to listen. Right now in my current field, I do a lot of customer service work, so I always get people that compliments me and lets me know how clear and concise that I am. And it's maybe even kind of a passion for me, because I work to do it better. I don't think there's ever too much good communication skills that you can have. So I'm trying to perfect it so that I can be the best at it.
All right, good communication skill, and we all about good communication. That's why I started this, and I'm still trying to define what good communication is, because sometimes hearing and listening is two different things, and when that good communication comes, it's a combination of both. It's a combination of hearing, listening, and what would you throw in there, as far as conversation? I mean, good communication, because I think being affirmative in that is a part of that. Since we talk about good communication, some qualities of a good communicator.
Okay. One quality would be so the difference between hearing and listening. You can hear with your physical ear the sounds that someone is making when they're speaking to you. If you're not giving them their full attention, then you're not necessarily listening. Or if you're cutting them off, not allowing them to finish a sentence, then you are not listening. So to make sure that you are truly listening to someone, it's best to paraphrase what you believe your interpretation is of what they just told you. So when they give it to you, you give it back to them the way that you understood it. And that's how they know that you are listening to them, not just hearing them.
Okay. All right. So I steer away from relationship advice, because that's not my lane. Now, I know you have some good relationship advice, because you put it down, and I know you have some good relationship advice. How do you communicate a good relationship? It's hard, and I'm not even talking about man, woman. I'm just talking about a relationship with a person, with a friend, with a colleague. Give me some of that back and forth.
Well, one key thing that I learned a few years ago from doing a training at work was that it is important to have empathy, to be empathetic. And really all that is acknowledging someone's feelings or emotions, how they feel about something. And I used to be one that was all about get it done. I don't have time for this. get your feelings. That was totally me as well. But when I was doing this training for work, it taught me a lot. And it taught me in the sense that not only do you want to empathize with your customers, but if you carry it over into your personal life, like when you're talking to a friend and your friend brings a problem to you, it's okay to be a listening ear and empathize. I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry that that happened to you. That's really all that empathizing is, acknowledging.
That's all I gain.
Oh,
But since we took it there, empathizing and understanding, like it's always, to me, it's always been fact over feelings, right? Let's stick to the facts and not the feelings, right? Because at the end of the day, feelings really don't matter, but feelings mess with your emotions to make you make some decisions that you may not would have made or whatever because of your feelings, right? So how do you split that up, right? How do you split up the feelings and because people have feelings and they get to the point where it's almost facts. You see it all over Facebook. It was like, Bloomberg is this and that's a fact. No, that's not a fact. That's an opinion, and that's an opinion because you feel some type of way. So, like, with your training and with your understanding, can you help me get a better understanding of how you can be empathetic and not be like, not almost condescending, like I know you feel bad. Like when customer service does that to me, I'll be like, yo, I don't care that you empathize with me. I want you to fix the problem, right? But so at the end of the day, how do you? It's facts over feelings, right? And how do you get? Because just in your profession, right? You said you manage customers, you manage caseloads and stuff like that. How do you bring out the facts when all they're doing is giving you the feelings?
Well, okay, so fact over feeling, dealing with that, right? Like, I would never recommend making a decision while your feelings are high. So you definitely want to go ahead. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings about a situation that happened. We're only human. So you take the time and you acknowledge your feeling, but don't stay there too long. Because, yes, we have something that needs to be done. So you give yourself 30 minutes, maybe more than 30 minutes, less than 24 hours, depending on how grand the situation is, right? Depending on how grand the situation is, you basically gauge how much time you need to feel. Once you're done feeling, then now it's time to make a logical decision, but remove feeling from the equation. As humans, we start off as like a blank sheet of paper, right? And then things happen in our life that write out our story. And because of those things that happen in our lives that have written out our story, we all filter information differently. So, and this is going to your whole Bloomberg point, right? You're seeing people on the internet especially, and you're wrong, you're right, no, I know what I'm talking about. We all filter information differently. And so it's best to acknowledge that as individuals, they have a different perspective, maybe because of what they've gone through, or a different perspective because how they were, the cultural background that they were raised in. Like, it's okay. People are original and they can have their opinion. They may believe what they believe about Bloomberg and you believe something differently, and that's okay,
Okay, so I know this is not a political thing, but like so since we're talking about Bloomberg, right? Mm-hmm. Just stop and frisk, right? And I just want to center around, like, people have an emotional attachment to the stop and frisk. They're like, yo, that was the most awful. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of white people that feel some type of way about it. Like, that was just the worst thing ever. But if we keep it real, the facts about stop and frisk, there's nothing different in the other states that they do the same thing in, as far as stop you for a taillight being out, or stopping you like so when you take that, because they labeled it stop and frisk, and now the media has a tool to attach it to somebody. The facts is that They don't have stop and frisk everywhere, but everywhere they stopping and frisking people of color, and it's the norm.
I mean, is it really the norm? Because, okay, so if it is the norm, right, why do we have the need to put a law on it to make it official that this is something that you must do?
It was a policy. It was a policy, and the policy was pretty much named that, right? And the fact that, like, I had to have the man talk to my son, the black man talk to my son, and that's how I know that it's prevalent almost everywhere. Actually, NWA and Tupac let me know that I ain't just, it wasn't just my neighborhood, right? Because I know that it seemed like the police automatically think that black people, especially young black people, are out doing something wrong. And I've been that person that's been walking the opposite way of the crowd, and yet the police have come to my, like, I don't wear hoodies to this day. I'm gonna just go back. I don't wear hoodies to this day. My son kind of made me understand this, because I used to have this University of Michigan hoodie, and that hoodie was like, it was dope to me. But like every time I wore that hoodie, dog, I had either a communication or a coming to Jesus moment with a police officer, and I didn't do anything to get that. Let's go back to the Skittles and Arizona tea. Like, dude basically he was applying stop and frisk to a black teen because he felt like he was up to no good. Like, so when we talk about policies, like, just because a policy isn't branded like the stop and frisk, it happens all over the place. And one of my issues is that they give you this information and they want you to make a decision based on your emotions, because you're emotional about this stop and frisk. So then everything be like is an emotion attached to it, and that's the way that they can control your decision.
Well, we don't need a policy for the police to go out and kill a black man just because he's black. Like, it already happens. And so, yeah, there's motion involved when you're saying, okay, well, now I'm going to really make it okay for you to harass people of color when they were already doing it without the policy. So why, instead of coming up with a policy to protect us,
okay,
why come up with
so let's look at
something
the other side of this policy too, right? So I get that people feeling some type of emotion about it, but the other side of the policy is that it was implemented all over New York, right? And not only was some people happy because they felt like the police are doing a job in their community, making them feel safer, because some people felt like they were safer because they had this policy where they was trying to get the guns off, and they seen enforcement of this policy, and not just the good neighborhoods, but also the bad neighborhoods. And so what you saw, and we're a minority, right? So what we saw was, yo, we are being harassed about it, and some of the minorities like, yo, we get that y'all being harassed about it, but at the end of the day, we feel safer about it. Like, we feel safer that it's less guns, it's less, like, I'm not for a policy that really, the policy itself didn't focus on brown and black people. The policy was implemented by the New York Police Department, and they emphasized the black and the brown, right? So when you have a policy that looked like it took down crime, now if we go from the crime stats, it went from like 189,000 what they call violent crimes or whatnot to like less than 100. So like in that second year, I believe that's what it was. But like, if you look at the stats, it looked like it was working. So like, based on what people perceived as, hey, this is targeting minorities, but we already know we've been a target. Like, how do you? You
said it.
That's what I'm saying. So how do you say that this one, because I'm emotionally equipped to, they actually have a policy name to it, right? So if they didn't name it, and it was happening, it will be okay.
No. So prior to the policy, right, the officers have a badge that made it okay for them to harass brown and black people. But now with that badge, they're given a cape and calling it a policy or whatever, and making it, now you're out here flying across the city like you're a superhero. That's why, in my opinion, that's probably why the impact on the crime rate, because that policy gave them an additional license to really go out and harass brown and black people.
So you think the policy actually did that, or you think that they were doing it before, but they wasn't doing it in all the neighborhoods, and that's what did it? I mean, like, there's so many other things in play. Like, and I hate to say that, but, and I'm gonna go back to the original thing, right? The original thing is they get you involved with your emotions to be like, oh, like, this is terrible, this is hurtful, I can't believe that you did this. So you make a decision based on how you feel about that one policy, but then you kind of typecast them to be only that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now when you see Bloomberg, it's all you see is stop and frisk, and that's instantly like I want people to make a decision based on the whole, right? But if stop and frisk is the only thing that is stopping, I mean, that's like no. Then isn't that a control element?
I mean, for me personally, the whole stop and frisk thing would make me question Bloomberg as far as voting for him for president, because of that motive. Like, if he didn't care enough to do the research to see before stop and frisk, how is our community, and again, specifically focus on our community, because it didn't really impact.
It did.
White America.
It did impact white America. They made more gun arrests. They made actual gun arrests and with white people. And that whole policy, the more people that was arrested for carrying guns was white people. The more people that were harassed were the brown and black. That was more innocent. I think it was like eight out of 10, or 8 out of 9 of them were not carrying. But the white politics in it, I think it was like 5 out of 8 or something like that. So it was definitely more white people going to jail with this policy. But
I would need to see some statistics and evidence on that. I can't really speak from that. And it would probably even be better to reference a New York resident, because we didn't live there. All we know is what we see on the media, right?
Okay, so then so with that being said, he represented New York not for 8 years, but for 12 years. They reelected this man not once but twice. So at the end of the day, you look at the collective as a whole, and I'm not saying that. I doubt if Bloomberg could have won New York without having some black support.
Right, I'm sure there were, because you have black Republicans that voted for Trump, so I'm sure he had some black support in there somewhere.
Well, I'm not saying a minuscule 1 or 2%. I'm saying, like, as far as what he did for the city, and let's not, like, I don't want to make this a Bloomberg thing. So I want to make it more of a communication thing, right? Mm-hmm. So what? Okay, so each one of these presidential hopefuls have supported a policy that's hurt Black America, has supported a racist policy, each and every last one of them, right? Mm-hmm. But this is the thing that sticks to Bloomberg, you know what I'm saying? And it sticks to him because that was the thing that he named and he went with, right? But every last one of them, including Bernie Sanders, who voted for the Crime Act, supported things that hurt the minority community. But like if you look at the record, even after he became after I want people to look at it and not be blinded by the one thing, right? Because they be like, yo, that's that one thing I can't get over with. But all of them did at least one thing that we can't get over with, but we're not matching policies to policies. So you're making emotional decisions based on what? Let's look at the numbers. And I'm gonna tell you the one thing about communication, and one thing about if I can make you angry, or if I can incite you to a point where you not really like you making emotional decisions, then that's a form of control.
Okay, so there's actually this book that I'm reading that actually addressed this. I think I was actually telling you about the book, Words That Change Minds. It actually addressed politics briefly in there and how people turn it into Adolf Hitler type of situation, especially when discussing politics online. Eventually, it's know you're wrong, know you're right, and now we're calling each other Hitler and everything else. Really what it comes down to is how you're communicating with the other party. So if a party is coming to you saying, no, you're wrong, Bloomberg had this policy, Bloomberg shouldn't be voted for, you acknowledge what that person is saying. You know, you're right. Bloomberg did in fact have this policy. You state your fact on why it is that you feel the way that you feel. And then ultimately the goal is to get the person to agree with you that we need to come with a plan, or we need to come with a not necessarily a decision, what's the word I'm looking for,
A consensus.
we need to come to a consensus on what does need to happen or what is the best course of action. So you could be right with your opinion or how you feel about Bloomberg, and I also can be right, but our goal here is
not if you're not dealing with the facts. The facts of the matter is, like, when I go down the facts, because, like, you get a binary response, like, and they do this stuff with abortion. Like, that's one of these things where they give a binary response. Like, if I'm not, so I had a disagreement with one of my old high school friends, and he said that I was pro-choice, and I'm telling you, pro-choice means that you're an advocate for making legalized abortion. I am not pro-choice. I am definitely not pro-life. I'm definitely not I'm not an advocate for making sure that every woman that ever get pregnant, make sure that she has a baby no matter what type thing. Like, I am leave it up to the person that it affects. It's not my job to govern your body, right? But you can't make me into a pro-life, because into a pro-choice, because I'm not advocating that for everybody. I'm telling you what's good for me.
So this is really just wordplay, what he is giving you here, but you're saying it's either one or the other. Which one? So yeah, it is kind of non-binary. Is that the word that we're using? You're either going for one or the other. Your wordplay, or how you choose to switch it around. Either you agree that a woman should be able to abort if she feels a fit need to, or she should not be able to. You're going for one or the other.
No, because it's not a binary decision. My thing is, it ain't my job to tell you what you're supposed to do. It's not my job I'm not here to say it should be legal for everybody to have an abortion. I'm not here to say, I'm not telling, like, so you get these people that communicate with this fiery passion, like, well, you telling them to kill kids. Where did you see me say kill anybody? You know what I'm saying?
You're saying you're pro her choice, though, is what you are saying. You think that woman should be able to choose what she wants to do.
What I am saying is I'm not pro-choice. I'm not advocating for everybody to be like, yo, that's what I want you to do. I am saying that it is not my right to tell somebody what to do with their body. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I say you should be able to have abortion if you could. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you, and I'm telling everybody else, that's not a binary decision. There is something in between the middle. I don't have to be pro-life or pro-choice.
Right. What you're saying is it don't make you no difference one way or the other.
I didn't say that. See, well, okay, that again is that communication that we're talking about, right?
What are you saying?
I said that I am not for abortion and I am not against abortion. That's what I said, right?
Then what are you then?
But that doesn't mean I'm pro-life or pro-choice, right?
Then what are you then? Make it clear on what you are.
What am I?
Yes.
I am, and this is for everybody. I am pro make your own decision for what works for you.
What is a decision, people? Can somebody tell this man what a decision is?
You saying that's a choice?
Yeah, if you make a decision, you get to choose what decision you're making. So that's pro-choice.
No. Why are you putting the pro to it?
Okay, so it's a choice. The woman has the right to choose.
Okay, so is pro got to be in front of the choice?
No, it does not.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's not pro, and it's not pro life. It's not pro. It's not pro choice.
It's a choice, though. You agree that a woman should have the choice.
So I agree that a woman should have a choice.
Right. So
that's
remove
what
the
I
word
agree.
pro. Remove the word that you're not advocating.
I'm not advocating either way.
Either way. It is. You believe that the woman should have the right to choose. She should have the right to make a choice.
I believe that it is your body.
Mm-hmm.
It is your body. You do what you need to do to your body.
It is the woman's choice, the woman's right to do what she needs to do. If it makes you feel better, remove the word pro to it. Then we can do that.
See, again, there's a condescending around that.
I don't mean to be
because you said if you think that removing pro in front of it is changing that, but like let's talk about the word pro. The word pro is like you said. I'm not advocating for a woman to choose abortion. So when you say pro, so if her choice is for adoption, guess what? I'm pro with that. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but when you say pro-choice, meaning like that's pro-abortion, I'm not pro-abortion, and that's what people try to and make it a binary thing. I'm not saying kill kids because you have the option to. Right? I'm not even saying that they are kids. They're a clump of cells. I don't, like, do you? And I got to deal with the stuff that I didn't do, and you gonna have to deal with the stuff that you didn't did. So I don't feel like you can make me be like I'm pro something or like
pro just meaning for, right? Isn't that what?
No.
Okay, we need a dictionary at this point. Google, can Google hear me on this? Seriously, but yeah. I would be pulling out a dictionary at this point because I'm pretty sure that pro is just me asking, are you for this or are you for that?
And like I said before, I gave you the definition. Pro-choice means advocating for legalized abortion. That's what the definition, because I had to give him the defdefinition. That's what the definition of pro-choice means.
You looked this up?
Yes, I
did.
This up? I did. I advocate for legalizing abortion. And I am not that. I'm not an advocate. I am not out here in these streets saying, hey, legalize abortion, legalize abortion, legalize. That is not what I'm doing.
That's more like lobbying, right? You're like, that's advocating. It just means that I am defending, not necessarily defending your right. So whether you are out there marching with a sign or stating your stance right now, there's really no difference between you marching with that sign and you saying out loud verbally.
Yes, it is. So you telling me, so you telling me that me being in my apartment saying that like, hey, it's pro, I'm a lady having a choice, right? Mm-hmm. Versus me being out there at 12 o'clock across the street from some Trump supporter saying pro-life, pro-choice. I'm not advocating. It takes effort. It takes effort, time, and visibility to be an advocate.
Okay, well, guess what? We're visible to an audience. We're taking the effort to discuss this and our time to discuss this. And what he is telling you right now with our effort, time, and why y'all seeing us, hello, is that you believe women should have a choice. It is binary. Should women have a choice or should not women have a choice? That's it. One way or another. Should they or should they not? And this man believes that women should have a choice. I agree with you, by the way.
So is it binary that you're a boy or a girl?
There is no in between.
Yes, it is. It's hermaphrodites, right?
Born without the sexual organs?
Hermaphrodite is born with both. So so is it binary girl or boy?
So a hermaphrodite has an egg, ovaries, and
hermaphrodite.
Egg.
They can't have all the girl. They can't have all the girl parts, right? And they can not have all the girl parts, but parts of a girl part. Like they might not have a uterus, but they might have a vagina.
Okay. Okay. I mean, if that's what you need to do is to go there to make your point.
I'm just saying,
hermaphrodites being a whole different category, making it binary, I guess. I mean, as rare as that is, it does happen.
Because it's rare.
It does happen.
Let's communicate. Yes.
Yeah, let's communicate. I think that is a horrible attempt at trying to.
A horrible attempt?
Yeah, at trying to.
While she's boxing me in, this is a horrible attempt. Because edge cases exist, and I'm a programmer. This is what we deal with. We have to deal with the edge cases. Because edge cases exist, we should only do what is most prevalent.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
we should not.
You see that? She agreed to that.
I agree with you there.
All right.
However, just because you choose to put a different word,
you can't have a however.
I don't see.
So you agree but disagree. What the? I see. That's poor communication.
No.
Did you see that?
No.
I agree with you. However,
right. There's a binary here. Okay. However,
there's no binary. It's like there's always something. I can't say there's always something. There's a lot of things. There's some in between, and all I'm saying is that when somebody puts you in the box, when somebody puts you in the box, either these a lot of these campaigns are putting you in the box as far as where you line up and who you line up with. You don't have to stay in those boxes, and you don't have to go in another box. There's room in between. But in this binary society that we have now, where it's either I like you or I don't like you. Well, what if I don't care? What if I like you sometime and I don't like you sometime? The most if you like me the most, like then that's what it is. Then you bipolar because
if I like you sometimes and I like you not sometimes, yeah, you look crazy then.
No, that's human because there's a lot of times nobody is going to agree with somebody 100% of the time.
Right.
Just like we sitting here talking right now.
Right.
Like if I told you, you pro-life.
I'm pro-life. I mean, I believe a woman should be able to make her own choices if that's what we're saying.
But so does that mean you pro-abortion? Because you saying that she should have that option?
I believe she should have that option.
So are you pro-abortion?
I'm for a woman's choice.
So no, are you for abortion? You either for abortion or you're not for abortion?
I am for abortion. I am for abortion. I am for that woman keeping her child. I am for whatever that woman that wants to do.
So are you pro-abortion? Are you pro get out there and kill kids and clump? Like we this is documented. So are you pro?
Okay, so we got pro-choice, and what's the other option? Pro-choice or
pro-abortion. That's basically what people have.
But isn't that the same thing though, right? Like I should have the choice to abort or keep my child, right? Like
is it the same thing?
Well, yeah, if it's my choice, if I'm going to kill my baby or keep my baby, it is my choice.
One, it got to be a baby first, right? So I'm gonna just be 100. Like, what constitutes a baby is not even defined to people. Like, is it when it has a heart? Is it
different definitions for everybody? Like, people.
No, it's not different definitions for everybody. It's people choose to pick what definitions suit their cause. Just like you can read a verse in the Bible.
Absolutely, I knew you were going to go there.
You can read a verse in the Bible and get something completely different from it than I got, right? So like, or you can take a portion of the Bible and make it say something that it is not in context saying, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if pro-choice means also
I don't want to get you on the record.
Pro-abortion, then yeah, I'm pro-abortion, and I am pro woman making her choice. Because if a woman is raped, she should have the choice to abort that seed or whatever.
What? The fetus?
The fetus, the child, the baby, right? Whatever it is, she should have the right to get rid of it. That's my opinion. She should have that choice to do what she wants with her body. Yes.
And then people, so you don't think, no, I ain't even gonna do that because you know what, this stuff like, but what I'm talking about is that like when people try to make you binary and make choices based on what they think you should be, and then you don't have to be that. So if it's Bloomberg or nothing, or if it's Bloomberg or Trump, like those are your two options, like. You really don't like. You don't have to pick either one of those, like for real. And I know they'd be like, yeah, but your vote will be thrown away.
You right? Just name your own name in there.
Yeah, people been throwing away votes forever. So like, don't get caught up in that, and don't let like I feel like my emotions shouldn't dictate my It shouldn't dictate my choices. I should take my choices out of emotions, and. and it's well, I can't say it, but like I feel like when somebody is trying to, it's a method of control when they're communicating to you that you have to be one of the either, when that's not the case. Like she don't have to be pro-abortion to be pro-choice, right? She could say, look, I really would hope that you would have a baby, I really would hope that you would have a baby and give it up for adoption, or I think that you should really try not to get pregnant. Like, I get it.
But bump what you hope. It's about what I'm going to do. So, like, a woman ultimately at the end of the day, that's why the separation for me is so hard, because at the end of the day, the woman has the choice. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the woman has a choice.
Yes.
So you are 100%. So you are to say you want
a woman to choose what she wants to do.
So you in saying that, you want somebody to say you're pro-abortion. So that's your first option.
I mean, if that's how they wish to interpret it, it's all on their interpretation at that point, because we're saying that the woman has a choice to either keep the baby or to abort. Regardless of what I hope you do, I believe it should be the woman's choice, right?
That's my stance. Like, I don't know what medical history you have. Like, I'm not for that, and I don't want that responsibility. Like, I don't want the responsibility of telling somebody, you gotta have a baby, because you don't know what that could do to that person. Like, you don't know that could put them in an emotional postpartum. Yeah, it's so many things that could go wrong, and I feel like that's not my decision to be made. So if you want me to make that decision, I don't have to. Like, I'll be like, I'm not a woman, and it's not my body, so I don't have to ultimately make that decision.
I agree.
But I'm going to bring this back full circle. I don't want you to have to be pro-abortion, because pro means you're advocating for abortion, right? And you're not advocating for abortion, are you?
For me, it's okay. You're saying this is non-binary, right? There is no one or the other, and I have to agree with you. There is no one or the other, because it's the woman's choice. I don't care what you do. Keep it, don't keep it. It's completely up to you. So what do you call that? You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you do. It's your life. Do what you want with your life. Did you know that people is changing themselves from girls to boys just because they feel like it? Because it's their life. Do what you want with your life. Like, that's the anthem nowadays, right?
Wait. Okay, so now we then went to another. Like, they gonna hate me because they always hate me when I talk about this whole thing. But so you saying,
yes,
you saying like changing sex, that they have, like, they do it because they want to. Do they have to disclose that to the person that they're talking to?
Absolutely not. They don't have to. However, in the social media world, I'm sorry. You're asking that if they were once a girl and they're now a boy, and they're maybe trying to hook up or get with someone, do they need to disclose that?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because if the information comes out later, they might be, people are crazy. They might try to kill them or something like that.
So you only think it's for safety, or you don't think that it's a personal courtesy for you to say, look, I used to be a boy and now I'm a girl? Like,
I mean, I think the safety thing is more of a impact. But where I was going with, because we all know, like, for example, D Wade, or is that his name, D Wade and Gabrielle Union, how they allowed their boy to turn themselves into a girl at 12 years old.
You said boy turn themselves into girls.
Is that what happened there, right? Wasn't he once a boy and went to a girl?
No.
What was it then?
He is a boy now, and his father is okay with him making that transition at age 13.
Right.
So it's not happened. It hasn't happened yet. And like, y'all probably been seeing Boosie go off like, Dwayne, like Boosie rapper went off on him because he was like, yo, you're not able to make that decision, and cutting off parts and splitting parts and making other parts. So like, but I'm gonna be 100. I don't care what the little boy do. I don't know him. I don't even know Dwayne. Like, he's a great basketball player, but like, this whole poppycock, I need to be myself. Be yourself. Go ahead, but it's grown people that don't even know who they are, right? Like I'm saying, there's grown people who don't know who they are, but yet You want to say a 13-year-old knows who they are? Whatever. It's not my job to be a parent, and I don't care in the grand scheme of things. It's not news to me because, is it news to you?
I mean, for a 12-year-old child to
13.
Whatever.
She ain't listening to me. You see that? I said a 13-year-old. Like
the articles I read said the little boy or girl was 12 or whatever. But still, my whole point is that we can, in America, we make it okay for people who were born biologically one thing to change themselves to something else based on how they feel. But if an adult woman chooses to either keep or get rid of her baby, all hell breaks loose. And it's like, is that not a double standard there? Like, what is
America
that?
is full of double standards. This is the land of the free that was created by slaves.
Right, so be free to make your choice, woman, in a border keep. Who cares, right? If you can change yourself from a girl or a boy and people be like, who cares? Kill your child or keep it. Who cares?
Oh my God, they is gonna take this video and you ain't never gonna be able to say you gonna have so many haters.
Don't kill it after it's here. You know what I'm saying? You're going to prison for that. But like, if you need to abort, you need to abort your child for whatever
reason. She communicate, kill that motherfucker.
But no, seriously, all seriousness though, right? A woman should have a choice. An adult woman should have a choice. If a child can decide, well, I'm no longer going to be a girl. I want to be a boy. The child is
not deciding that, though, too.
I
told you, his dad said it would be okay for him to transition. His dad has to pay for it or whatever. So, like, at the end of the day, it's going to be his dad's decision that's going to do it for him. But he's deciding who he identifies, what he identifies as. What gender? I don't know how the whole specifications of it. And I'm gonna be 100. I don't care the whole specifications of it. And if you got a problem with me not caring, that's more about you than it is about me. But that's just my rant. But so he is deciding that he feels like he's more like a boy, and his dad is deciding whether or not he is going to get the surgery.
What if he changes his mind? Like, what if after the surgery at 15, 16...
The damage is done. I don't know if they can reverse it. Like, they cut... Do y'all see the surgery? Have y'all seen what they do? Oh, my God. I don't know how that works.
And so, yeah, that's America for you nowadays. People are changing their sex, but yet it's still a whole big deal if a woman makes a choice on what she like to do with her body. But we all know people operate off emotions, whether it's right or not. People do that. And so, yeah, it's best that you do weigh all of your options before making any decision and just not act irrationally based off of your emotion. Take time to think.
All right. We're going to close this up.
Check out NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun.